What's up, everybody? Welcome back to IGN Live at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm Damon, this is Greg, and we are both big horror movie fans.
We are.
It's true. A very cool horror movie that came out earlier this year was the remake of Evil Dead.
It was scary.
Here to talk to us about the upcoming Blu-ray release are the director and star of the film, Fede, Alvarez, and Levy. Thanks so much for joining us.
How are you guys?
What's up? How's your Comic-Con going?
Amazing. This is my first real Comic-Con.
Really?
Really?
I've been to New York and Anaheim.
Okay.
But this is, the San Diego one. It's amazing.
It's kind of a big deal.
You might have heard of it. It's kind of a big deal.
So how did you pull it off? How did you make a good remake? Because we don't see too many.
No, I know. I think because we care enough about the original, but not too much that it will become just like a bad cover song that is the same, but trying to imitate the voice of the singer. We really try to make our own take on it, and we all did, and that ended up being something different. So I think that's why it worked. Usually the shortcut is just let's do the same thing again. It worked in the 80s, it should work again, but that's a mistake. I think that worked in the past, sometimes they don't work for a new audience. And so I think we changed enough things to bring it to a new audience, and that's why I think it worked.
And how involved were Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell?
How involved? I mean, they involved. They're the producers on the film, right? This is their movie, this is their property, so there was no movie without them. As simple as that.
Were you terrified to come onto this project? Evil Dead, you know what I mean? It's one of those horror names that everyone is beloved by all.
You know, I actually didn't know that much about Evil Dead.
Please leave Comic-Con.
Yeah. I actually had never even, maybe I had heard of it before I got the audition, but not really.
Yeah.
So I think not knowing that stuff was a blessing in a way,
Sure.
so that I didn't feel so much pressure.
You get beat up in this movie.
Yeah. I get tortured.
What was that like? Is this a bad man?
It wasn't me. It's people working for me.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, you just watched that. You're sitting there.
It was really hard. It's been long enough now that I don't think I totally remember, so it's
Blacked
funny
it out.
and
It's
I
like
like
selective
it.
memory.
Yeah, but at the time I remember being pretty miserable. It's hard work being in a horror film. Yeah, but I'm proud of myself. Really, how many people do you know that can say that they've been buried alive for real?
No,
Yeah?
Not very many. Yeah, you might be the only
you're
one.
the first one, I think.
What's it like
You and Uma Thurman.
sitting in an audience and watching people really enjoying watching you getting hurt? Is that weird?
No, it's not. It's not like that. I at this point again, I said I'm so far removed. I don't think about that stuff when I watch the movie, and it's so much fun to watch people be scared of you.
We see the Blu-ray here. When is the Blu-ray out?
It's already out.
It's out now. Okay.
Last Tuesday.
Oh my
As
God.
soon as the live stream ends, go to your local Best Buy, get it, you're set.
So what's on the Blu-ray? Are there any specific extras that you're involved with?
Oh, there's a bunch of good documentaries. I mean, they did there's 4 or 5, featurettes about how we made the movie, and I think that's amazing. The Blu-ray has a little bit more than a DVD, I think, but it's great. And we shot so much stuff behind the scenes stuff. So they did a great job putting that together. And actually, Jane has a personal diary, and they did it.
It's just me complaining the whole time.
I won't remember how much I hated this, so I'm making a video of how much I hate this.
Yeah.
Can you get me a copy of it?
Yeah, there's one right there.
Nah,
You can keep that one.
I need region 2, UK.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking that one.
For the effects in the film, you didn't go CGI.
No, I guess if you can avoid CGI, you should always do it. I mean, there's some stories that simply no way to tell them without CGI. All right, if you're doing Avatar, probably you need CGI.
Difficult.
But something like this, and if you can pull it off without it, it's always better. I mean, it doesn't get old. The movie's not gonna get that old so fast, or at least not that fast when you're using CGI. And it's a horror movie. It's supposed to look real, right? And I think we managed to make it look. You can touch it. It's the things that are happening in front of you are real. It's not the computer thing. So I think it worked, and it worked for them too because they were exposed to. I mean, she got an ear infection out of the blood drain. So
Yeah, lovely.
Really?
help them to get into character. I guess.
Yeah, and there was there's a scene where you first see Mia as possessed, and she comes out with a shotgun and she screams. The windows actually broke every time that I would scream, and then there was this crazy wind tunnel shooting at me, and That's pretty cool. A cause and effect.
You broke windows.
I broke them with
We
my
have
screen.
windows all around here. Do you want to have a...
I actually have like
don't
a
make her
really,
do that.
really, really good
You think it's
screen.
funny now? Like, yeah, let's make her scream and all that. When she does it, you go like, that was about it.
Are you just naturally a good screamer, or did you have to practice it?
No, I'm naturally a good screamer, and I think it was just a pleasant surprise for Fede. I think it was the first day you had me scream, everyone was
Some
like,
actors, they just cannot scream.
That's what I think. We had Lily Taylor from The Conjuring on.
We did.
She had to like practice and learn
She
how to do a
trained.
good horror
Oh,
movie
really?
scream.
She had someone come and train her. She went online and found someone who trains people to scream.
Yeah, there's some people that just go like,
I don't know
So
what
maybe
it is
that-
about me, though. That
All right, scream. Now you gotta scream.
I gotta scream.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a live show.
but
Give
seriously.
people what they want at
Yeah,
IGN. Hashtag SDCC.
Lord. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
good.
do it.
This is a lot. This is good.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it now.
I'm nervous.
So it'll be
Only
alright.
a few million people are watching.
Okay. I hope it's good.
And deciding if
really
they'll buy
good.
the
It'll be
Blu-ray
awesome.
based on the screen.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a horror scream. Right there.
That was
I want to leave now. I'm embarrassed.
There's some people that just like,
that was really impressive.
What did my face look like when I did that?
Yeah, we'll have to.
Oh, can we get an instant replay for her of what her face looked
I
like?
don't
No,
wanna
we
see
we
it.
don't have that technology. We're the internet.
I destroyed all the audio. All the audio is picked.
That was kind of hot.
What?
It's kind of hot.
Ew, man.
You're into some weird. You're into some weird stuff.
He's UK.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
You British guys.
Needs his Region 2 Blu-rays. Makes me sick.
You guys have made a great scary movie. I want to know what your favourite scary movie is.
Yeah.
The Shining.
No, that's a good one.
Why?
I love Jack Nicholson a lot, and because it's really scary.
Okay.
That's fair. That'll do.
Well, you know, you can always go with classics, but I think because it's recent, and that's because you're British, but 28 Days Later is something that I think would change horror for good. I mean, before 28 Days Later, like, zombies were lame, and nobody cared about them, and horror was some cheap format, and suddenly Danny Boyle came in, like, made a real horror movie, scared everybody out of their minds. I mean, it scared me. I mean, and I was grown up already when I saw it, but it was so scary. So I think that was among my favorites right now. Definitely.
So have you got an idea for 28 months later?
No, but I would love to have one. I would love to make one of those films. Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of sequels,
All I know is that it is the opening. It starts 28 months later.
good idea.
Like you're halfway there. All you need is the beginning, middle, and
At the
end.
beginning.
You got the
The
beginning
rest
done.
is easy.
So when do we get to see Evil Dead 2?
We're talking about it. I mean, we're really talking about it right now with Sam and trying to figure out what it would be.
What's your idea?
What I would love to see is a
Chris's
classic
idea.
is a classic sequel, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys would love to see, but
I think we'd all like to see some kind of convergence of the two Evil Dead universes.
Yeah.
exactly.
Would you like to see that?
Of course. That's what I want to do. Because I think what we managed to do with this one was tell a story that wasn't overriding the originals in a way like, suddenly everything they told me in the original doesn't make sense anymore, right? Which some remakes do that, and you go like, oh, why? But we make sure that this wasn't going to do that, so they can live in the same universe. So that's what we hope it to do, like make a movie that will combine them all in one.
And Bruce and Sam sounded keen when we
Yeah.
talked about it in March. So
Yeah, they are.
what do we need to happen?
I think people have to buy the DVD, I guess. They have to make
Ladies
sure
and
that there's
gentlemen,
an
please
audience
go
out
buy
there.
the Blu-ray. Come
No, but it's true. I mean, it's yeah. You want to see if there's a fan base out there that really wants to see another one, right? I mean, the movie they did amazingly in the box office, but still, it's always you want to see if this is, in order to do that, to do a sequel that just follows the first one and combine those, like you really have to have a big audience out there, right?
We've got a question from one of our viewers here. Remember, to be part of the show, tweet your questions at IGN with hashtag SDCC, just like Robert Banks did, who asks, did you feel any pressure of living up to the original movies?
Yes, but I think the biggest pressure was to make a good film. I mean, come on, we know that Hollywood puts out films out there every day that you go and, it's disappointing.
why did I
I'm excited, disappointed. And every time there's a new trailer, like part of your heart goes like, this is the one that's going to change my life. At least that's the way I step into the theater every time I watch a movie. Like, even if you've been disappointed so many times, like when I watch in part of my brain think like, this is the one that's going to be awesome, and the logo shows up and you're like mesmerized. That's the power of cinema. So for me, I respect the format so much. The pressure was to make a great film, was to at least make it a good film that doesn't suck. That was already a big pressure because it's so hard. So I think that was so big that the pressure of living up to the originals, was shadowed by the other pressure of making a good film.
One of my favorite aspects of Evil Dead, your version, was the audio. I thought the audio was amazing in that movie. And like when you're outside, like I'm hearing like flies buzzing like around my head in the theater, and it just sort of gives you this like unsettling, gross feeling. But then like I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a character who's like, there's a lot of self-mutilation in the movie. This character, like you hear her like slicing up her own skin. Oh, the sound of it like still makes me queasy.
Also, there's like, I don't know if you noticed when watching it, there's audio from the original.
Oh. Wow.
Like voices from the original characters behind some of the demon voices.
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah, you can hear a lot of tracks of the original films playing through the movie. If you pay attention, you'll find them.
And one of my favorite parts too is when there's like when really evil things start to happen.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if this is a classic thing in horror films, but I've never noticed it before. There's like this siren behind all of the noise going off like in the distance, and it's really like sinister and haunting.
Yeah, that's the amazing job that Rocky Baños, the composer, did. Like that was his idea, ended up being kind of the signature sound in the movie, right? That raid siren that sounds every time somebody's gonna have.
Audio is really important in horror films.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it is loud too.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch people watch horror films, not only do people do this, but this is like the most helpful thing.
Yeah, I wanted this movie to be. You know when your girlfriend convinced you to walk into that Channing Tatum film, and suddenly you hear the next theater going. Right. You're like, man. And you try to pay attention, you hear like, boom.
My girlfriend wanted me watching Evil Dead, so.
Okay.
Did you have any kind of surprising reactions from audiences you watched it with?
Yeah, people fainting on the theater.
Is that true?
Yeah, a lot of people tweeted to me like, my friend fainted today, or somebody was barfing in the theater. And I didn't believe it at the beginning. I was like, yeah, it's not true. But then actually in London, I remember like there was a scene of Natalie cutting her arm off, and somebody stands trying to leave the theater and start like going to the right and hit his face against a column, falls to the floor. Everybody laughs.
It's healed up though.
Everyone laughs.
Yeah, everybody laughs. I think it's so funny, but a lot of people were
And does that make you happy though as a director? You
of
feel
course,
like you've done your job?
Of course. It's hard to make somebody faint by just exposing him to a story. Yeah, like I'm going to tell you a story, and you do all the things to try to get to his heart, and make them faint.
Screaming almost made me faint.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to faint still. I'm so
we'll get you off camera then. Evil Dead. You can go out and buy it right now. Thank you both so much for coming by. Have a great
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.